Hello, everybody. I'm Crystal Hughes, and welcome to At Home with NCWLIFE, your local resource for all things home and real estate. Today, we'll be interviewing real estate agent Hein with eXp Realty. But first, your weekly market update. One of the top hot topics in the real estate market today is the agent's commission. If home prices are at an all-time high, how can we say that commissions are going down? Back when the housing market crashed and home values declined, commissions went down too, even though many agents were charging a certain percentage and maybe even more. In fact, compare median home prices today with what they were 10 years ago. In dollars, commissions have actually gone up across the board. Commissions will continue to go up, with even housing prices continuing to go up, as the percentage of the sales price that consumers are willing to pay may also go down, as more agents and new business models offer more competition. There are many agents who practice utilizing being paid in actual dollars versus a flat percentage fee and may have a higher advantage gaining a listing when in competition with another agent. Often, home sellers believe that when we charge a percentage, we are more motivated to help them get as much possible for the house. Over the years, I have met with many clients who have told me that what the going rate is, and it's always a percentage, never a dollar amount. When buyer's agents start to look at the bottom line on individual real estate transactions, they might see that even when they are not being paid X percent, the pay in actual dollars is usually pretty good, and it's getting better as home prices rise to help win in multiple offers. One thing to consider in negotiation dollars versus percentage of the total purchase price is to save money on the buying and the selling side. New Fannie Mae rules may help renters qualify for a mortgage. Consistent rent payments can boost prospect of borrowers with the thin credit files. Many renters believe that they will never be able to buy their own home because of the insufficient credit. We can responsibly expand mortgage eligibility by including positive rent payment history in underwriting risk assessments, said Fannie Mae CEO Hugh Frater in a statement. Frater also said that the changes to Fannie Mae's desktop underwriter, which take effect September 18th of this year, are believed to be the first example of any large-scale automated mortgage underwriting system tapping into the electronic bank statement data to consider rent payment histories. While consistent rent payments will improve the applicant's chances of being approved, records of missed or inconsistent rent payments identified in the bank statement data actually won't hurt their ability to qualify for Fannie Mae eligible loans. That will be an important feature for millions of Americans who fell behind on their rent during the pandemic. According to a recent analysis by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 16% of adults living in households that rented said that they were behind on their payments. Of roughly 7.3 million adults living in households who are already behind on their rent, nearly half say that they are somewhat or very likely to be evicted in the next few months. Freddie Mac's spokesperson also said that the company would like to see on-time rent payments show up on credit reports and be used for evaluating the borrower's risk. Like homeowners, renters should also benefit from making timely housing payments, which is why Freddie Mac is working to make credit reporting for on-time rent payments an industry standard and part of the risk assessment when purchasing or renting a home. One thing to consider is your homeowner's insurance policy. Locally, this last summer and in the past, we have had some serious fire scares. Since we have a particularly high risk for wildfires, you should be warned that the increase of wildfires has prompted some insurance companies to forego renewing even loyal policyholders because of the risk. Even if your insurer does offer wildfire coverage, it may not cover the total cost of rebuilding a home. Instead, it may cover just the loss of your personal property, some of the cost of rebuilding a home, and living expenses while your home is being repaired. Read your insurance policy closely and see if you need to secure additional coverage with wildfire-specific insurance policies. Also, we are heading into winter, and it is important to consider your coverage and policy in the event that we do have extreme weather. Most home policies include coverage for a frozen pipe that breaks due to a snowstorm, as long as you maintain proper temperatures in the home. In other words, if you leave for a month-long winter vacation and turn off your heat and a pipe freezes and bursts as a result of negligence is on you to fix. This falls under a covered peril, which is standard in most home insurance policies and typically includes fire, lightning, wind, and ice. Again, read your insurance policies closely and see if you need to secure additional coverage for your winter and weather-related issues. Local median sales price is up to $425,000, up 21% from last year. Average days on market is 50 plus days, and the list to sales price ratio is up from 98% to 102%. This suggests that the market is very competitive with low inventory and high demand. If you are considering selling, buying, or even just curious about the market, talk with a local expert like myself or your trusted realtor, lender, and financial advisors. I'm your host, and that's your weekly market update. Welcome back. We're here today with real estate agent Hein with eXp Realty. Thanks again for being here with us today, Sean.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you got started into real estate, why real estate, and a little bit about your background and your family.
Well, I was in the restaurant business for 25 years, and I was looking for a change. And I had a lot of people throughout my years of being in restaurant business telling me that I should give real estate a try, that I'd be great at it. And so finally it took that long really to get into it. And so, I jumped in and, both feet and just went for it. And
2018, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been 3 years now.
Been 3 years now.
Over 3 years.
So, and your family was in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
And you guys are just really well known, reputation for just your incredible attention to detail for people, your connection, amazing customer service. And I've really seen that over the last few years inside of your real estate business. So if someone was considering maybe thinking about selling even their home, their restaurant, maybe their business with your restaurant experience, maybe why should they contact you?
Well, I know the in and outs of the restaurant business. I know a lot of people that are in the restaurant business, and I talk to people actually quite often that are in the business, that think about, wanting to maybe purchase their own or start up their own. And they come to me for advice on stuff like that. So, that's just, I feel that I would be somebody that they could bounce ideas off of.
Absolutely.
And that I'd be able to help them, price things out and, maybe find them the right fit.
Yeah, naturally with that experience for them to give them good, solid advice. So let's talk a little bit about your background. So you started with a real estate company and you switched over recently to eXp. So talk a little bit about kind of your experience over the last few years, how it's kind of shifted even in the last pandemic, and then why you've chosen to go to eXp.
Sure. Well, I, like I said, started about 3 years ago and, just got my feet wet, learned a lot. It's an ever evolving business. So you're always
feet wet. Sorry to interrupt you, but 15 to 16 homes you sold even like in 1 year. It's like some agents, they do like 3 to 6 a year. So pretty impressive in your first couple of years. Just wanted to give you kudos for that.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, I don't think it was beginner's luck. So as far as that goes, but definitely it felt good, to really immerse myself and being able to do that. And just, grinding it out and making it happen. So, and then, of course, COVID happened and that is a shift in the market. It was an unpredicted shift as far as that goes. So, it's just one of those things where you have to relearn some things and then just kind of refocus too and just learn those challenges along the way. And I think timing is everything. When it comes to stuff, timing was everything when I got into real estate. And then also timing is everything with, joining eXp. All the coaching and mentoring that I do have now is amazing. And I'm able to use that to catapult, me further into my career and along the way. So.
Well, we saw in the pandemic that there's a lot of, it was mostly virtual. So we were doing a lot of Zooms, we were doing everything where we didn't need the brick and mortar. And a lot of companies have franchise fees, and even the CEO of Keller Williams here locally stepped down, moved his business to eXp and brought his whole team because he's able to actually grow his business, right? You get that coaching, mentoring, grow and get a team or be on a team, right? So what would you say to those real estate agents who are thinking about maybe paying less fees, maybe having more coaching and training and going virtual in today's world?
Well, I mean, I think it definitely comes along with the bottom line is, you're working and you're in business for yourself to make money for your family or whatnot. So I think having, that extra money in your pocket goes a long ways, especially in the economy that we do have now and with inflation and all that kind of stuff too. So, I mean, that's one main focus that I looked at, joining EXP was that opportunity to make more money, and it all comes obviously within myself to do that. But,
and that also allows you to put more money back into your clients too, right? Invest more into the business, help them, better serve them, and put more money into marketing and providing excellent services for them too. So, inventory's been kind of short, and we were just working on, some market analysis with an agent yesterday, right? And helping pricing. And so this was a daylight rambler, and there's not a whole lot of daylight ramblers that have been on the market, especially over the last 6-8 months we saw.
Yeah, they go fast.
They go fast. So you've got the extra space, the lower basement, they've got the extra space, and they still have the daylight. So it's not like a rambler in the ground, right? In the basement, it has that light. So it's a little harder when you're wanting all that extra space to kind of comp it out. So anybody who's thinking about selling, right? And they have a daylight rambler, this is a great opportunity, right? Like what do people really need to understand when it comes to pricing and not a lot of comps?
Well, with something specific like that, they definitely have the upper hand in this market. They have something that's unique for people. And, I think a lot of families are looking for something like that. Maybe those that are moving into the Valley. So, and making comps on those, it is a little bit challenging because it is a unique home. So, I find it, I like the challenge too. And, obviously getting the seller the top dollar that they deserve for their home right now.
So top dollar then is being knowledgeable, right? And being on top of the expert knowledge of what's happening from appraisers like Catherine Harris, right? We're speaking with her, and there's adjustment guides where we can make adjustments and put dollars in there instead of just doing a general analysis, right? To give them the most accurate pricing. So for viewers at home, why is it really important that we consider each, the dollar amount, even though houses are flying off the shelf, when it comes to appraisals and maybe even buyers not being able to come up with cash or coming up with cash to pay the difference? Talk about that.
Yeah. So, everything from the finished work that's in the home, adds value to a home. Of course, neighborhoods, things like that, help as well. So as far as that kind of stuff goes, I think it's pretty important that we get every detail, and be able to show the seller, that everything that they do to their home does make a difference,
right? As
far as that goes. And those values are always changing too, they change with the market. Right. So, and if praise value, does come in a little low, there's different things that we can do to help move that process along.
Are you seeing low appraisals?
What's that?
Are you seeing low appraisals?
Occasionally.
Yeah, I've seen 2 in the last 6 months.
I was going to say occasionally.
And I hadn't seen one in over a year. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a stabilization happening?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think, if there is, I think the buyer can come in with a little extra more down payment to make that happen. So, and sometimes that's just what needs to be done.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about kind of where we foresee the real estate market going and a little bit of tips and tricks to help people win today.
Cool.
So, all right, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Welcome back. We're here with real estate expert Sean Hein with eXp Realty. Thanks again for being here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for viewers at home, talking about like investments and for realtors needing to know about kind of being competitive in today's market with financing, earnest money, waiving inspections and appraisals, where are we at with that today?
Oh man, every transaction is unique.
Oh man, he says.
So I mean, as an agent, you're constantly, trying to find the best fit for every offer, every transaction, and sometimes you strike out and sometimes you don't run. So, and it's just everything in between too, so, and helping your clients and helping them feel comfortable. with striking out
Right.
is a huge thing, the discouragement that a buyer can have, and understanding those discouragements and then just, helping them along and trying to stay positive and hopefully they can feed off of that too to get to the next
to the next step, right? And there's a lot of people still winning in today's market and understanding what that means, right? If you are waiving a home inspection, what exactly does that mean? Has there been a pre-home inspection? One of my mentors and coaches over in Seattle area, they have just come up with Washington State actually adopted an addendum for pre-home inspections for sellers because it really helps with knowledge and not having to renegotiate and double dip later with major repairs to the sellers, right? So just really understanding people are even waiving appraisals, and there's even loan programs out there that help people for waiving appraisals. So it's kind of an interesting time, right?
Yeah,
people
definitely.
really understand what that means.
Yeah.
So everyone has an Uncle Bob or an Aunt Carol that's probably in real estate, right? So why is it really important that people shop around to get expert opinions in real estate?
Well, I think a lot of it, for somebody like me, I mean, I'm born and raised here in Wenatchee, so I know the area pretty well and everything. And so, just kind of going off of that and being able to point people in the right direction, I mean, I've had clients that are like, I want my house facing southwest, for specific reasons, for the sunshine, for, whatever. So, and being able to go, okay, well, I think I might have an idea where that might be for you. So, just being knowledgeable in that, being knowledgeable what the inventory is like, getting out there, doing the broker's tour like we do on Wednesdays and checking out the new listings and just being informed. Really.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what would you say this last year, right? We've seen this last year, a lot of stuff happened that we didn't anticipate. We're almost into winter, like we're going into fall, right? We're almost into winter. Everybody's been complaining about how hot it is. So where do you kind of anticipate the real estate market the next year, just kind of through December, just through the rest of 2021?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the home prices, not rising as sharply as they were, maybe leveling out a little bit, but there's still, we have such a desirable area to live,
right.
And the last, my last 3 years of real estate, 2 of the winters have been my best. So it's still a good time to buy,
right.
Yes. I don't think letting off the gas during those times, for buyers, because a lot of people think, oh, it's wintertime, not going to find anything, don't want to move in the wintertime, but I think it's a great time to buy.
It is, especially, mental health. We've been noted as one of the, very healthy place to live, and also one of the fastest growing cities in Washington. So it's gloomy in the winter in bigger cities, and especially on the, Seattle West Coast side. So people are actually going to relocate here in the winter, especially with their tech jobs. And we're seeing a lot more of that.
Oh, definitely.
So what would you tell someone, over the next year without having a crystal ball? And we're not economists, but we do study, right? So what would you say to someone who's thinking about buying or selling? I mean, a year ago, we were 20% less.
Sure.
Right. And people are like, well, let's wait and see what the market does.
Sure.
They could have bought it 20% less. So what would you tell someone today?
Well, with interest rates being as low as they are, and we don't really know where those are going, but they're still at very low. So it's still a great time to buy, even with prices being the way they are, and if interest rates go up and home prices are continually to go up, that's, doesn't put a buyer in a good situation. They're going to be paying more on their mortgage. And then over the lifetime of the loan too. So, and then also down payments, everything else comes along with that. So, it's always, I know people get sticker shock, but it's still a good time.
Well, when you think about in the 80s, we were selling, not us, but agents were doing loans at 18% interest, right? Like
crazy.
They were selling houses at 18% interest. So kind of go over the long term, who actually paid more if they actually lived out a 15 to 30 year loan, right? Over the long
crazy.
Term. So if you kind of had a life piece of advice, like maybe if someone was wanting to check something off their bucket list or invest in a business or buy real estate, what would you tell them?
Well, I would definitely say invest now. I wish I would have when I was younger, So if you are, in your, 20s, 30s, me being in my 40s, I just wish I would have done it a lot sooner, and then just kind of have that, I guess, nest egg, especially in our valley. I mean, our values are just going to continue to go up, desirable area. And the inventory's super low. So, I mean, it's just
okay. So with that, with inventory low, then what are you telling people if they say, well, I'd sell, but I don't have anywhere to go? Are there interim options? Are there, what are you telling people?
Sure. I mean, there's an option to, rent from the future buyer of your home or,
So like they close and then they rent back. They close, but then they rent. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. And they also have the upper hand too to create a longer stay in their home or a longer closing period.
Absolutely.
So, it's a huge option for sellers right now.
Mm-hmm. So what is one thing that people should really be considering right now? Is it making sure they're pre-approved first? Is it making sure that they have cash liquid funds? I mean, it's hard even right now for first-time home buyers with not more than 10% down.
Sure.
They're getting beat by cash. So, what is kind of your piece of advice for people that are maybe even first-time home buyers or looking to make an investment?
Yeah. Well, definitely, you got to get your financing in order
first.
First, number one, get your pre-approval done, and if you don't, there's lots of different programs too. There's first-time homebuyer programs. There's down payment assistance programs that are out there.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, ask a lender. Ask, I'm very knowledgeable and can help point people in the right direction as far as that goes. So, maybe you have to save for a year, but at least you have a game plan and get going. I can help people do that.
I love that. Yes, you can. So any last minute advice for viewers at home today?
Just don't be afraid. Some people, if they're, first time home buyers or whatever, don't be afraid to take that step. You never know until you ask questions.
Absolutely. Look at all your options.
Look at your options. I run into that all the time. And that's the thing I love most about doing this is helping people see that they can actually accomplish that. And I love being alongside of people doing that.
Achieve their goals and dreams. I
absolutely.
love that. Well, thank you, Sean. It's awesome to see your growth and see over the last year and look forward to continue working with you.
Great.
All right. Well, that was Sean Hein with eXp Realty. And I am your host, Crystal Hughes. We'll see you here next week at home with NCW Life.